On behalf of the provincial government and people of Reno and Bellona province, I would like to sincerely thank the Bills and Legislation Committee for inviting our province to present our views on the draft Special Economic Zones Bill 2024. We'd also like to extend our gratitude to the Minister of the Ministry of Commerce, Industries, Labor and Immigration and its task force for the good work done to ensure that this very important bill is compiled to its near completion. As our views before the committee to fulfill the mandatory part of parliamentary oversight and scrutiny of the bill. Reno and Bellona province support the bill because we are looking as one of the vehicles to establish and generate business opportunities with international investors in partnership with local developers to boost economic growth in Solomon Islands and to pave ways to improve livelihoods of our rural populace by extracting our primary resources and transforming them into manufactured products for export purposes. Whilst our province supports the bill, there are suggestions we wish to share before the Bills and Legislation Committee. They are, first one, involvement of provincial governments to identify suitable areas for possible economic zones. Clause 9, this clause specifies landowners and authorities' own initiative to identify suitable areas to establish special economic zones. However, we suggest a provision put in place for provincial governments to submit proposals through their business arms as developers themselves to operate in these designated special economic zones. The second one is the authority, in consultation with provincial governments, to possibly grant operation licenses to the applicant. Our province experienced challenges with investors that came to invest in our province under other sectors like mining. They fail to pay their mandatory fees and left our province. After some times, when they applied to the national government again, they were granted licenses. So that is why we want consultation with the authority when it comes to licensing of the applicants. The next one is the authority's adherence to provincial government's business license ordinance in investors operating agreement to pay appropriate fees annually to our province. Clause 37. We viewed that most fees and taxes are exempted to investors operating in our province. However, we rely on business license as our main revenue source to meet our ongoing daily government-approved plans. They suggest a provision in place to safeguard provincial license and license ordinances. Possible inclusion of provincial government representatives as members of the authority board. As Clause 63 Mtala, as the main host to the special economic zones, we suggest a provision put in place for provincial government representatives as members of the important board. And then the last one is more consultations required in the provincial level for more in-depth knowledge of the bill passed down to our rural people, more so to avoid fears by our government and the people that the authorities' own initiative to designate special economic zone and take over our land resources clearly clarified prior to forward submission to Parliament for its debate and possible approval. Despite these suggestions above, the Special Economic Zone Bill is seen as one of the legal tools that would anchor the decentralization of goods and services into our rural areas in the near future. Therefore, we submit before the Bills and Legislation Committee round of Bellona support of the Special Economic Zone Bill 2024. Once again, thank you, Chairman, and your good Legislation Committee for your time and patience to hear this news.